Hey guys, it's Megan Aller, Sales Executive with First American Title here in Denver, Colorado. I'm here to give you your weekly Wednesday update at 10 o'clock for attached single family. If you've been following my video blog weekly, every month I go through and talk about the attached single family market, and we discuss how this market looks a little bit different than the detached single family market. Most of the difference boils down to the fact that we resolved some of the builder defect issues and laws that we had that were restrictive to developing attached properties here in Metro Denver. That resolution was brought forth on May of 2017. Now that gives us 2 years from that date of resolution. Now we have those new products finally making their way to market here in Metro Denver. Now, we have enjoyed increased inventory in a market that's been starved for it for about 10 years now. Now, when we're looking at increased inventory in Metro Denver, keep in mind that when we talk about supply and demand, it's kind of like the salt and pepper of the dinner table, and you have to pass the two together. That's great if supply goes up, and as long as demand follows along with it, then we maintain the same ratio of buyers to sellers in our marketplace. And that's what we're seeing right now in the numbers. Attached units are up nearly 20% year over year, and we again needed that inventory. Now, if demand had dropped off, we would see more softening in our prices. But the reason why we continue to see that fueled price appreciation for attached Metro Denver homes is because our under contract units followed behind the active inventory, and there's now been pent-up buyer demand that's been serviced by that. Active units went up by almost 20%, under contracts were also up by 17%. So they're rising at relatively proportional levels to each other, keeping us in that same ratio of buyers to sellers in our marketplace. As of right now, there's 1.7 homes per buyer in the market in Metro Denver for attached properties. Keep in mind that for us to be at a market in equilibrium, where it's a fair playing field between buyers and sellers, we would need that number to be closer to 6. The lower that number is, the more heavily it favors the seller. Granted, it's different than what we had seen over the past 7 years of this cycle, with that number floating around 1 month worth of inventory and having bidding wars being almost imminent. As of now, sitting at 1.7 months worth of inventory, it feels like a drastic change because we have roughly twice as many choices available in the market, but that still doesn't get us to a point where we're close to equilibrium. We did note that prices tapered off going into July. August actually saw a nice little bump. As of right now, year over year, average home prices for attached homes in Metro Denver are up 8% appreciation-wise. Keep in mind, a good appreciation rate is typically 2 to 3%. Usually what happens going into the attached market, headed into the last part of the year, is we have a nice little bump of activity. So we can expect to see some increased bidding wars that could be happening heading into the later part of the year as our inventory continues to drop off and we're trying to still service some of that demand, those buyers that haven't been able to purchase something. Now again, interest rates are about a full point lower than where they were 1 year ago, and your P&I payments this year, even with the 8% appreciation, are still about 3% less expensive than they were 1 year ago. So buyers, please get out there and take advantage right now when you have some additional purchasing power. I hope that you enjoyed this week's presentation, and I hope that if it helps you better advise your buyers and sellers, that we'll get to meet them at our closing tables. Tune in next week where you'll get your next weekly update. We'll see you soon.